Out of nowhere, Spriggans locked down a regional top 8. Don't beg 30% of you that have not smashed the ever-living crap out of that subscribe button. Smash it so you guys don't miss out more content out of Germany this weekend. I believe there were about 3 regionals on file. The Kaiser Lantern regional, I believe, is the one we're going to be looking at here today. And it is Kashtira locking down some of your highest representation out of this tournament. I mean, you shouldn't be surprised to see that Kashtira has been the more dominant force out of some of these events. I mean, it is the best deck in the room, right? We also have Labyrinth coming in at 2 decks in top cut as well. On a lot of the regional circuit, I've seen Labyrinth kind of falling off as late. It's not saying that like the deck has shifted gears completely out of the blue here, but we are seeing a dial back here on power, which is definitely showcasing some of the differences here that we have really had the chance to see in terms of power scaling. So it's kind of something interesting to see. And I mean, Jinzo's been seen play in Despia deck, so if Despia is running around, there's an odd chance you might get Jinzo'd out here. Now, we also had one Flanderies player in top cut, which is kind of nice to see. I mean, Flanderies has definitely been one of the mainstay contenders in the rogue category for quite some time. The loss of the barrier statue did send them back a little bit to the Stone Age, but I'm not surprised to see that. We also had Sprite Evil Twin in the top cut, no stranger to that build. Then we also had Dragon Link showcasing some of the power that it has had the chance to have for the format here. And we also had our star competitor here, Spriggans, coming in at 8th place into top cut. I'm incredibly happy to see that Spriggans got the chance to even remotely come close to regional top. I mean, this isn't to say that this is an abnormality, but you are getting the chance to kind of showcase a lot of these lower end rogue decks actually doing their job here for the top cut breakdown. So that's incredibly awesome. Now we're going to pass on over to what few deck lists we do have. All right, second place for this regional is, or excuse me, first place is actually Kashtira Money Dollar Bills. Now, you should be no stranger to seeing how this deck has adapted this format and how it still maintains a threshold as the more dominant deck. I mean, you decide you want to play additional books. Econ is a pretty cool tech choice. You're seeing that we are packing in Forbidden Chalices in here as well. And we're also packing in Lances for those defensive options, all right? So the biggest thing with this deck is you decide on which paths you want to go for some real big considerations for your power plays. So we have the triple copies of Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. We have triple copies of Fenrir. We have 1 copy of Yogurt. Now, this build's only playing the 1 Rise Heart. We have seen a massive pushback on this card. You're either playing 2 or even 1 of this. The 3 of has been dramatically cut back. We're playing triple Unicorn and 1 copy of the Scareclaw Kashtira. And then you got the triple book, triple Econ, your triple Chalice, and your triple Forbidden Lance here. You also have triple Birth, triple Kashtira Theosis, 2 copies of Pod Desires, your triple copies of Pod of Prosperity, your triple copies of Raise Sloth, and then of course 1 Terraforming, and 1 copy of Good Old Preparations. Down the extract you have 1 Donner, 2 copies of Big Eye, 1 Dracossack, 2 copies of Shingrira, triple copies of Arise Heart, triple copies of Zeus, 1 copy of Dark Armed Dragon the Armageddon, 1 Garuda, and then you have 1 old copy of Anintis here. And then you have triple copies of Dimension Shifter, your triple copies of Ghost Bell and the Haunted Mansion, triple copies of Lightning Storm, triple copies of Dimensional Barrier, and of course triple copies of Rivalry of the Warlords here, wrapping up the power that you are pretty used to seeing in this format. Like I said, Kashtira, the decks don't really change. Like I said, your biggest things are going to be your tech choices and the things that you're considering. And I mean, how many Rise Hearts do you want to, put into this deck for it to functionally work the best for you? That's honestly the deck. All right, next up here is Labyrinth. All right, so Destructive Daruma Cannon still sticking around in the format. I think that every time you can see Destructive Daruma Cannon still be a 1-up, I think that's fine. Do remember that this build is still focusing on skill drain. I mean, the more options that you can have when you're playing this deck, the better off you are. Plus, I mean, let's call it what it is. I mean, you can control your value where you need to control your value. I mean, that's like the best thing about this deck is, if you have to flip up skill drain, you're sitting behind a 3K 2900 monster. that should put you in an amazing position. So we have triple copies of Ariana the Labyrinth Servant, triple copies of Ash Blossom and Joy Spring. We have triple copies of Lady Labyrinth of the Silver Castle. We have one lovely Labyrinth with one copy of Labyrinth. You have the triple copies of Pot of Duality, triple copies of Pot of Prosperity, your triple copies of Big Welcome Labyrinth, your triple copies of Compulsory Evacuation Device, one Destructive Daruma Cannon, your triple Dimensional Barrier, triple copies of Dogmatica Punishment, your triple copies of Evenly Matched, triple copies of Skill Drain, one Terrors over the Overroot. I mean, as much as we like two of this card, one seems to be about the better approach. And then, of course, triple Welcome Labyrinth. Then you got two copies of Tri-Brigade Bucephalus 2, two copies of Lingaribo, one copy of Wolo, one Aggregator with your one Zeus, two copies of Dingarisu, your one King Kaiser with one Machinix, and then, of course, two Garuda, and two copies of Anentes. And then, of course, one Boldrake, one Druisworm, with two Magna Hut, triple copies of Lord of the Heavenly Prison, triple Space Rock, triple Cosmic Cyclone, one Harpy's Feather Duster, and one Eradicator Epidemic Virus here, wrapping up your beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Labyrinth deck. Field Spell we've seen in the side deck in a couple of these variants. I just want to throw that out there, that like you can see some momentum shifts across the board for some of these lists. So overall, that's what I like to see for Labyrinth. Next up here is our Spriggan deck. And yes, that is Maxi. I mean, why not, right? You may as well. So Spriggans, I mean, let's call it what it is. Access to Merrymaker on into the Sargass, the ability to Gear Gigant X, search for Cyberstein here, pay 5,000, deploy an Exterio across your opponent. I mean, what's your opponent supposed to do against, a full field, and then, you can do cleanup on aisle 9 with Sargass? Like, deck is incredibly good for what it wants to do. So we have triple copies of Ash Blossom and Joy Spring. We have one copy of Cyberstein, triple copies of the Giant Space Rock, one copy of Sprite Jet with one Sprite Red. We also have one copy of Branga, two copies of Brothers, one copy of Captain Sargass, two copies of Kit. We have one copy of Pador, and then triple copies of Rocky, and one copy of Thurian King Regulus. And of course we have one Brandon High Spirits, one copy of Called by the Grave, triple copies of Gold Gondola, two copies of Sprite Smashers, two Booty, we have triple copies of Spriggan's Watch, triple copies of Tally Ho Spriggans, triple Imperm, your one Double Cross, and one copy of Spriggan's Blast. Down here in the extra, got one Genius, one Platinum Gadget with one Tornado Dragon, one X-Blower with two copies of Merrymaker, one Gigantic Sprite, one Captain, two Captains Sargass. We have one Gear Gigant, your one Gallon Granite, your one Exoton Knight, your one Big Zeus, one Sprint, and then, of course, the one Exterio. And then you got the one Red Resonator for Time, two Book of Eclipse, your one Change of Heart, one Harpy's Feather Duster, triple Lightning Storm, your one Raigeki, triple Dimensional Bear, and triple copies of Evenly Matched here, wrapping up. Well, more power to you, the format, showcasing that even Spriggans out here can lock down a W for a regional. You really do love to see it. So what do you guys think about the breakdown for this regional? Please leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think, and I will see your beautiful faces back here later in the day, guys. Peace out. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.